Welcome back to the land of dysfunction, the destitute Miami Dolphins. They lost 45-21 to the Cincinnati Bengals in Quinn Ewers' first ever NFL start. It was a game for a half, and then the Dolphins had their classic third quarter collapse. Joining me to discuss this loss, what it means, the Dolphins losing season 6-9, is Isaiah Smalls. Isaiah, we are officially at the point where we can guarantee that the Dolphins will have a losing record for the season. We have two more games to be played. Tampa Bay Bucks, who are on their own nosedive as well. They're on deck for Sunday, and then after that, the Dolphins play the hottest team in the NFL, the New England Patriots. And what exactly can Dolphin fans expect from the next 2 weeks based on what they saw on Sunday?
They can at least expect two good quarters of football, right? Two like solid football quarters, right?
Together or
in the third, right? They might get outscored something crazy in the third, but those first two quarters you're gonna have belief, you're gonna enjoy yourself. But after that third quarter, you might as well exit the stadium like half the fans because it was that bad. Like that, to me, you had three drives in the fourth quarter. All three of them ended turnovers, essentially, right? Meanwhile, you're giving the ball back to Joe Burrow. He's like, oh, cool. Like, all right, like we both transferred from Ohio State, but it was for two different reasons, son. And he's wheeling and dealing and, look.
What was Joe Burrow's reason for transfer from Ohio State? I know you were Buckeye.
Didn't he just be a future number one overall pick?
What do you say?
I'm gonna be a future number one overall pick. That's his.
No, reason. That's not why he transferred. This was way before the era.
I know. I'm joking.
He transferred because he got beat out.
I know. You're completely correct. Which is insane thinking about that now. Like Joe Burrow got beat out for a QB1 job, but
who say we never beat him out again.
I think it was Justin Fields. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was
Justin Fields, yeah.
And then Quinn got beat out by CJ Stroud, I believe, which makes sense. Like, but the Justin Fields one, Joe Burrow, it is what it is. But look, Joe Burrow was nearly perfect in that quarter. I think 8 for 9 for 90-something yards, 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Quinn is 3 for 8. 35 yards, 2 interceptions, right? And only one of those interceptions was truly like a terrible read. You should not have thrown that ball. The other one, I guess, bounces off my man's chest plate and in the air, touchdown. Or not touchdown, interception, right? So,
hey, man, those used to count when they happened to Tua. I'm just saying.
Wait, hold on. They definitely still count. The issue was, okay.
We're not taking points off because it's like bounce.
I'm not taking points off in air or anything, but like a lot of, again, Tua's balls were in, if I remember correctly, this was man coverage, right? So it's already a different thing.
So you saying they had to play man coverage on Quinn? They were like, that's the difference.
Oh, you're saying that? I didn't say that.
I'm asking a question. I threw a question mark at the end of it.
No, I'm not living that business. You got it. Look, you're the one reading the writing on the wall. I'm just doing the writing. Don't worry. But look, I think what the biggest issue though is defensively. I'm curious as to how complementary football is the name of the game, right? Like when your offense is scoring points, you got to limit the opposing offense from scoring points. When your defense is holding them up, you got to score points, right? And what to me has been, you saw it last week. It's kind of an unfortunate repetition is that I don't want to say the defense is up. It just it seems like as when they realize the offense isn't doing what it needs to do, it's like
they let up.
And granted, they were unable to really get Devon Achane the ball. Or they were able to give him the ball, but he was unable to really do anything. I think outside of that 48-yard run, I think he had like 15 carries for 30-something yards. That's not good. And I don't think that that's on him. I think that's a game that the Bengals created, right? Look, it's very unfortunate. I think the on the bright side, right? Like Quinn wasn't awful. I think that much is true. Like it would be different if they threw Quinn out there and he was awful. I don't think he was awful. I think he just looked like a rookie, right? There were some good things. There were some things to love. He stood in the pocket, was able to. He's mobile, right? Which is good. He's not afraid to take the deep shot or the bigger throws.
And
right?
he has an arm.
And he has an arm. I don't think we can undervalue. And then when stuff started breaking down, what did he do? He scrambled for 6 yards. And I cannot emphasize that enough. When it started to break down,
and fell forward. Yeah.
And fell forward. Like it's like, where's this been all year? Right? So I say this to say that I don't feel like you should lose all hope as a Dolphins fan. I mean, like, look, y'all not going to the playoffs. Y'all go finish it under 500.
Hold on.
It's not great, right?
Let me ask you a question. What should we be hoping for, though, as a Dolphin fan base?
Oh, great draft position. Great draft position.
So I'm technically hoping for great draft position, which means technically I'm trying to get a top 10 draft spot. So technically, am I trying to lose?
I don't think you're trying to lose. You're asking me what is the team doing?
I'm just asking you as a Dolphin fan, what's the goal right now?
The goal is better draft position. That's number one. But also, I
so
think the goal
to get a better draft position, technically, I have to lose. Correct?
You're right. You're completely right. But as I told you from the beginning of the season, I don't think these games were necessarily winnable, to be honest. Like
Tampa, come on, hold on. These games, Cincinnati.
You said the same thing about Joe Burrow. They put up 45. They hung 45.
I mean, yeah,
they hung 45 on the board.
They hung most of that in one quarter.
I don't care. It was 40 at one point in this game. It was 45-14. Like, what
they didn't need the fourth quarter. You're right. But here's my thing: could it been different if given a different opportunity?
You're saying like if Tua was in there, would it have been different?
Just throwing it out there.
I don't think so.
Why so? Why so?
Because Tua doesn't have the arm anymore to make certain throws. Doesn't. So now that you have,
what about if it was Zach Thomas?
Zach Thomas is lining up at quarterback. I think we have bigger issues.
Yeah. What about if it's Zach Wilson? Could it have? And I'm in fairness, I'm not a Zach Wilson guy, but Zach Wilson does have the experience. He does have a better arm, arguably.
Yeah, he does.
Does he have brain fart moments? Yes, but maybe this is his chance to redeem his career. Could it have been better?
I mean, maybe if we're saying Zach Wilson, maybe a little bit better, but not enough to change the ultimate outcome. That's my point. I don't think any of these guys particularly would have changed the ultimate outcome.
Because ultimately we're trying to get to what the goal is, which is ultimately a better draft spot.
Yes. But I think
which requires us to lose, technically.
Well, yes, you're correct. But in that, this is my point. Within that, though, I think it's important to see what you have.
Okay. See what you have in Quinn. Okay, but it's not important to see what we have in Zach Wilson.
Not particularly. You know what you have in him, though. You've seen he has a pretty significant body of work in this league. Like he does. It might not look great, but it's a pretty significant body of work. And so why not see what you have in Quinn, whose body of work is 0. Again, he last played meaningful football a year ago, right? It's time to see what you have in him. Now, you're not going to play a game to lose, right? You're not going to do that. While that might be the, ultimate goal, right? You're not going to play the game to lose. And so I say that to say that.
So what are you playing against?
If you win the game, no, because you don't play to lose. You can't tell grown men.
But are you playing the game to win the game? Are you playing the game to win the game? If we're not playing the game to lose the game, are we playing the game to win? I
think you're just playing the game. I don't think it has to
playing the game.
Losing. I think you're just trying to play the game. I think you're just
So
trying to make
so
it the end of the
okay, so
season.
that's what we're doing.
You're trying
We're
to make
doing
it the end
for
of
the
the
rest
season.
of the year. We're just playing the game.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
You're gonna let the chips fall where they may. Cause look, you're not gonna go inside that locker room, right, and ask and tell these grown men, "Hey, look, man, y'all might as well phone it in." Y'all that's not gonna be a overt message. That's not gonna be an overt. Go ahead.
So let me ask you this question: since we're playing the game to play the game, we're not playing the game to win. We're not playing the game to lose. We're just playing the game to play the game.
Playing the game, yeah.
We're just playing the game. When I put certain people on the field who are not necessarily ideal for that situation, just let's spitball and say I'm putting Jason Marshall Jr. out on the boundary, or I just magically decide that for this series I want to rush with Quentin Bell and Cameron Good. I'm just spitballing ideas out here. Just let's just put that out there and see what happens.
Okay.
Am I playing the game to play the game?
That's you playing the game to see what you have. That's what I'm saying. I think playing the game to play the game mixes in look, it would be great if you won, but also we know that there's an advantage to losing, right? And so that gray area. Let me finish. That gray area is where you're living right now. Because Mike McDaniel is preparing to win the game, right? The thing is, to prepare the game, right? Make sure you got your soldiers. You gotta make sure you gotta have your footmen. You gotta make sure you got the people in the sky. You gotta make sure you got people from the sea. You gotta make sure that you're trying to attack the best way you can. Now, if the guys in the air just got the pilot's license yesterday, right? Then that's different than employing a guy that has 15
done two airstrike battles.
Yeah, right? Or now if your guys on the sea don't know how to swim, now again, it's different, right?
They know how to swim. They just not professional.
They're not professional. They're not Michael Phelps. They're not Michael Phelps. So I think that there's levels to it. I think right now they're living in the gray area, right? Because there's advantages. You're not, again, I emphasize this enough, right? And fans are like, why are you even still writing about the team? Well, it's my job, first of all. You want me to just phone it in for the next couple of weeks? I could do that, but I might not come back. But if I do that, I might not come back to a job. So, it's a reality of the situation. Someone commented on my story today, who cares? I know it's your job, but who cares? I'm like, okay, well, it's my job.
See, but are you giving maximum effort, Isaiah? Are you giving maximum effort, Isaiah? Are you putting forth? I feel like there's some third quarters in you.
There's some third quarters
where sometimes just something.
Well, I'll say this.
Flips your mind, and
I'll say this. I did game notes yesterday. I handled the live blog. I wrote a story in the middle of the game about how Tua's not going to probably be back in 2026. I finished my gamer. I came back home, wrote about Quinn Ewers. I say that to say
you did not mail it in.
I'm not mailing it in right now. If anything, I'm trying to set it up to where there's days this week, right? Obviously Christmas this week, for all the who celebrate, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, happy that.
Happy Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, but there's days this week that we're gonna need stories, and I don't want to work on a Christmas day. I don't want to work so what am I gonna do? I'm setting myself up for success. I'm filing more stories now so that I can take a much needed day off. That's the reality of the situation. So I say that to say, excuse me, that I'm not gonna phone it in. I can't phone it in right now, right? The Dolphins, on the other hand, look, are there players that I believe that are playing still for jobs for future? Yes, 100%. I would say that there's a vast majority of them. But then there's also, to your point, when you throw in certain packages, and it's why is that on the field? But again, you're seeing what you have.
Putting myself in the best position to maximize my opportunity right now.
Say that one more time.
I'm seeing what I have, which is important. We need to see what we have.
Yeah.
But am I putting myself in the best position to maximize my opportunities right now?
That's the thing. The maximize my opportunities. What's the opportunity? Because some say the opportunity is in April when you announce that first round pick, and what number you're announcing it at, right? Like these games aren't meaningless, right? But at the same time, they mean a lot. Like you want to it's a bar and a half. I know. Stay with me on this one. Stay with me on this one, right? At the end of the day, if Quinn goes out there next week, outduels Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, maybe runs for another 20, 25, right? It's going to make you approach, and especially if he follows that up next week with a similar performance on the road in New England. Granted, New England's not going to have much to play for. They might be resting people, so it might be a second string effort. If he goes out and do that, that changes the way you approach next year's draft, right? A little bit. Because you might not be as, and I know you said you're high on Dante Moore. You're high on, I think that was a quarterback you said you're high on. I personally, I don't believe in taking a quarterback who has 1 year production. That's just my philosophy. I don't like that.
I used to have rules too, and then
then you wound up with Tua
Tagovailoa. And then the market just changed drastically, and we went to cryptocurrency, and then all of a sudden, you gotta figure out a way. I used to have rules, but now you got to just do what you got to do. Get a quarterback, like.
But again, I don't
believe in college programs at this point.
That is quite literally though how we find ourselves in the mess that we find ourselves now. The fact that you took a quarterback because you thought it was the right thing to do, rather than having the infrastructure in place to make sure that the quarterback will develop properly, or just taking the wrong guy specifically.
I hear where you're going. I don't necessarily agree, because no matter what quarterback you took, your infrastructure wasn't there. It wasn't intentionally not there, but you got it. Actually, you got it that season. So you did create a good infrastructure. It just left after that season because you basically didn't know how to talk to people. Do
you think that their infrastructure is in place now?
This infrastructure?
The Miami Dolphins infrastructure. You think it's in place now for them to select?
Can I sit there and say Mike McDaniels and his staff can develop a quarterback? Yes, because they developed Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay. I agree with you. But to me, a big part of this is having an OG on the roster who's willingly able to give you game. I don't think that they have.
You talking about an OG quarterback?
Yes.
Oh, that's not going to be here. Yes. Okay.
And that to me is a big part of it. I was here, and I don't really particularly care what the hell Robert Gifford III has to say.
Hold on, who was CJ Stroud's big brother quarterback? I don't think he had one.
I'd have to look that up.
Who was the Washington quarterback? Who was his big brother? Mariota ain't no big brother quarterback.
Come on now, don't do that. That's somebody who was a number 2 top
and a flame out.
Yes, but he can easily teach you around his
how to not flame out.
He's been in the league for like 10 years. Like to be in a backup.
Bro, you got beat out by Ryan Tannehill. Who is listening to you?
That's not true. That's crazy. That's
disrespectful. Is it not the truth?
It is true, but at the end of the day,
Ryan Tannehill, who took his team to the number 1 seed in the AFC, which was your team.
The fact that you were able to carve out a career for nearly a decade, right? Like you're not trash. First of all, that Marcus Mariota almost beat this Dolphins team, right? So let's back up. Let's back up. He played well for 90% of that game. He had couple bad throws, right? That doomed the game. But
they were a bad team and they didn't have nothing with them. But yes, he did.
You're correct, but that bad team almost beat this Dolphins team. So what does that say about this Dolphins team? Okay, so
right. Fair.
As I was the point I was about to make about RG3, when they drafted Lamar Jackson, right?
Oh, okay.
He probably was out of a job. The story I just heard him tell. He was probably out of a job, but then he tweeted one thing. He said, "Oh, I'm so excited to work with you, Lamar." Right? And his quarterback coach told him the next day, like that tweet single-handedly saved your job because it showed that you were willing to come in and help develop the guy who was the one, right? So And so I said that to say, I don't know if there's not currently a guy on this roster that I believe is willing to take that role. Tua still believes that he can be a quarterback one. I know that for a fact. Like that's not you can Stevie Wonder can see that. Zach Wilson, I'm sure he was a little bit passed over, right, for the number one job. So I'm sure he believes that he has a shot somewhere, right? So when you have those sort of people, and I'm not saying that they're not helping Quinn, because at the end of the day, like it's your job to help the guy get ready, right? Especially if he's a rookie. And it's not technically his fault that you're in that position, right? But but at the same time, next year comes around, right? Now there's another young buck in the room. Who says that they're gonna be as forthcoming with him? I don't know that.
You're correct. Let me put you on game. I'm gonna try to get my year correct. I remember there was a year that Ryan Tannehill was a starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, and everybody knew that Ryan Tannehill, Matt Moore, the situation. There was always a little tension because the defense favored Matt Moore, and they always felt like they were going to be better with Matt Moore. And then, but this was Tannehill's team, and he had whatever the situation. There was one year where the Dolphins went and got a young quarterback. I can't remember what his name was. Maybe Pat Devlin or something. And Ryan, no. This was in Tennessee. This is in Tennessee. It wasn't with Miami Dolphins. And they drafted the kid who's now in Green Bay Malik Willis. And they said to Ryan Tannehill, so are you going to help mentor this young man and help him become a better quarterback? And he was like, hell nah. I got my own job to do. I got my own job to protect. Like, I'm not going to teach. I'm giving it to you in, real speak. Yeah. But he wasn't even playing. There ain't no mentoring over here. I had to learn the hard way. You got to learn the hard way.
And I just looked it up. CJ Stroud OG was Case Keenum.
Okay. All right. Cool. That's dope.
So I don't even think that you have to have success to be an OG. To be frank with you, because Case Keenum. Look at his little jersey thing. That looked like the rainbow. That's how many teams that man.
Wow, you gonna shade Case Keenum. If you could make it in the league as an NFL backup, it's a nice check for.
That's what I'm saying, and I think there's power in the staying power, right? And there's game that you have to give away. That's my point. That's my bottom line.
Okay, all right. Now that we've discussed this game, discussed this season, Isaiah, what is there to achieve in these final two games? What are we doing?
Again, I think it's just seeing the pieces that you have, right? When adversity, Mike McDaniel says this a lot, and when adversity hits, like you get to see who someone really is, right? And whether or not the team has totally checked out on that message, I think we'll see on Sunday. Because to your point, like the Buccaneers are a sliding team, right? Who still have something to play for, and the Dolphins can play spoilers. I think that's the motivation. That's what you kind of want to me at least, that's what would be motivating me, right? Because this team thinks that they think that they have a shot. Now we're going to show them that they don't, right? But I said that to say this team doesn't have much to play for, right? Like it's not, but it's seeing what you have. That's something that
Bradley Chubb said something after the game that I thought was very important. He said, Bradley Chubb.
Okay.
He said Zach Sealer told the players before the game, while you might not think you have something to play for, keep in mind, I joined this team in the final 3 games of the season back in 2019, claimed off the waiver wire, and I'm here. That was the start of my career that got me here. And you got to go out there and play hard because that was a tanking season, a bad team. Zach Sealer was probably the best waiver wire find the Dolphins had, probably in Dolphins history. And so don't think that these games are meaningless. Don't think that these games are insignificant. Don't think that these games don't have any value. And plus, as you know, we're both fans of Rasul Douglas, who, you know, is about the straightest talker on the team. And he addressed some concerns. He's like, I don't know if everybody out there playing for what they're supposed to be playing for. And I took that serious. He was like, basically, to a man, go find out what they're playing for. And that was a challenge to us. And it's true. Like Rasul, we know what he's playing for. He's playing to establish himself for his NFL future. Y'all thought I was washed. Y'all thought I was finished. Here I am. Look at me now. I was set up for failure. I'm succeeding. And I'm not going to stop until I'm finished. And I think Jack Jones is in a similar situation. Jack Jones was left for dead. What would it look like? Jack Jones left for dead, played this season relatively respectfully, proves that he's an NFL starting caliber cornerback, and then mail it in the final 3 games of the week. Yeah. What that looking like? You know,
it looks like the very reason why he got cut from other places, right? Like it's not a good look. You know, I think you got to finish what you start. And I think that's the number one motivation. You got to finish what you start. Like, and Jordan Brooks said something to this effect the other day, right? Like, this is where it becomes a job a little bit, right? At the beginning of the season, it's okay, playoffs, okay, postseason, Super Bowl, like
team. We're all in this together.
We're all in this together.
My brother.
Yeah, like big, like camaraderie, energy. Well, okay. Now you're eliminated from the playoffs. You're gonna be under 500. What you got? And you got two opponents that are hungry for the playoffs next. Left on your schedule. Are you just gonna lay down? You gonna let it be like, all right, well, they got it, or you gonna buck up? I think that's the number one thing that everyone wants to see. They want to see who you are when adversity strikes, right? And I know Mike McDaniel loves to pair at that point, but at the same time, it's the reality. Like, this team has faced and so much adversity this year, right?
Self-inflicted adversity.
You said what? Selfishly?
Self-inflicted adversity.
Oh, well, I mean, of course, man. Your QB1 goes up there and leads the league in picks. What you gonna do, right? But at the same time, you got a job to do. Like, that's the bottom line. You got a job to do. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't care that y'all just got blown out by the Bengals. You know why? Because they just lost a close one to the Panthers, right? They're not happy about that.
They're not as bad as you thought they were when you played them, Dolphins.
I agree. Like, Bryce Young is actually putting together some stuff, man. Like, I'm surprised, to say the least. But look, bottom line is, you got a job to do. It's work now. It's officially work. You got 2 more weeks left to work. What you gonna do with it? Now you could like Cancun gonna be there in January 6th, right? Maybe let me not say that date. January 7th, Cancun gonna be there, right? Tulum gonna be there January 7th. Your European vacation gonna be there January 7th, right? That can't be the focus right now. As close as it is, you got 2 more games left to finish off.
Finish strong, you're saying. Okay. Well, I could tell you, Jalen Waddle is 90 yards from 1,000 yards. That's something to play for. Devon Achane is putting together a Pro Bowl caliber season. I would like to see him get over 1,300 rushing yards, get over 10 touchdowns. We want to see Quinn Ewers continue to develop. Darren Waller, he's having a very impressive season and is targeted a lot more now that Quinn Ewers sees I could just throw it up there to him. And we'll see where that comes and how that benefits this team. So they do have a ton of things to play for. Let me ask you this question, Isaiah, as we're on the way out. At the end of the game, I believe the score was 45-15. Dolphins owner Steve Ross was seeing laughy, yuckity-yuckitying it up as if this doesn't bother me. It's fourth quarter, game's all decided. He's not down on the field. He's just sitting there in the stands. I believe they caught him getting an ice cream cone on. By the way, that's the Bill Parcells ice cream machine. Bill Parcells had an ice cream machine installed into that owner's box, just because Bill Parcells has an ice cream machine installed into every owner's box of wherever he works. It's just a thing. We had it too. He put it in the media area too. Bill Parcells is big on his ice cream. Yes.
And they took it out.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, it's hard to manage. I used to sell TCBY yogurt at the stadium, so it requires a whole lot of cleaning. Yeah. Oh yeah. I did a lot of things. I was a ticket.
I know. I did know that you mentioned in passing that you used to work at the stadium.
That was my first job. That was
cool full circle moment for you.
I grew up over there.
Yeah.
I grew up at that stadium, so I've seen it. I was there for the Elton John concerts. Like,
okay.
I'm a cultured man.
Benny and the Jets, Rocket Man. Okay, I see you.
Yeah. But what was I saying?
Stephen Ross laughing on air.
Yeah. Your take, perspective, thoughts.
You want to know what as you're saying this, I didn't immediately think of it at the time. I'm just thinking about this now. You know what that reminded me of? The Nets could go 0 for 82, and I look at you like this is brazy. Look, he has different problems than us, right? Like, it's not
a Jay-Z line for those.
It's a Jay-Z line from in Paris. It's called Paris. So I look, he has different problems than us, right? Like, as much as fans want to think like, oh, like the Dolphins are his only thing, like. Well, we know this man has multiple businesses. We know what he's done to Hard Rock Stadium and how he's brought in F1.
He's like single-handedly building Palm Beach at this present
moment. He's single-handedly building Palm Beach. His problems are different. He doesn't, not to say he doesn't care about the Dolphins, because he does, right? But in the list of priorities, right, with the rookie quarterback in, them eliminated from playoff contention, all that stuff, like, well, you want him to be up there sulking? That's not. He's a billionaire.
I
wish I had some cash on me so I could fake wash, wipe away the tears with money. Like, come on now. Like, his problems are very different. Let's not act. Is it a good look? Is it a good look? No, not at all. It's a terrible look, especially for a fan base. Did you see the picture that I used on my story?
Yeah.
Yes. It was a for those that don't know, my gamer had and I called JD beforehand because I was like, hey, can I use this? Should I say this for a column? He said, go ahead. It is literally a guy with a paper bag over his face, Dolphins jersey with "Sell the team" over the front, right? So,
and he had a Quinn Ewers. He had made himself a Quinn Ewers jersey.
I didn't keep that. Good for him.
Props to him. Yeah. I don't know who that fan was. I'm sure a photographer found him. But yeah, we are here. We are
That's
here.
What we are. And
but here's the thing: what was he supposed to be sad about? Because according to you. What are we supposed to be trying to do?
It's the gray area. You're supposed. The best option here. I'm not saying you're supposed to be doing anything. The best option here, objectively speaking, is to go get a better draft pick. It is, objectively speaking. It is. So he did that. Technically, his goal was accomplished, right? That's message you can hand down from the top and be like, hey, look, dude. Well, I guess you can, but you can't go into the locker room and say that. You can't say, hey. We lose in the next 3 games, y'all.
But when you do it, when you're saying one thing, we're putting our team in the best position to win the game. When you're saying it, and then when you're doing something different, what message does that send to your team?
As a player told me, you're right. It's a little bit confusing, right? Because if he gives us the best chance to win, why wasn't he QB1 from day one? Right?
Or QB2. Or QB2.
Or QB2. And if you're just saying that now because of Tua's performance against the Steelers, it's kind of like, okay, I guess so. Like the guy that's never taken first team reps, I guess, okay. But it muddies the message a little bit, right? So it's an unfortunate situation that all fans find themselves in. To say the least.
Well, we will continue to be in this gray area for the rest of the season, for the final 2 weeks. Hopefully, you'll be here with Dolphins in Depth as we attempt to explain and make some sense about what's happening. I'm sure you've been here before, so you're used to this, trying to figure out what is the real intent. What is the real intent of the Miami Dolphins, who, by the way, have been pow-powed for intentionally trying to incentivize losing games when they got caught red-handed. So
it's crazy. I feel bad for y'all, honestly. Look, it's only my second year out here. Like, this is crazy. You guys, I saw you reply.
So what?
Twitter. I saw you.
Finish that statement. You guys are so what?
Like, I feel bad for y'all. You guys are so just like.
What's the word? So just
let down. You've been let down consistently. It's like, it's kind of like going back to your crazy ex. Like, you know her, she crazy, but you love her anyway. You love her anyway. So you keep going back and back, hoping this is the year.
You know it's the end of some drama.
Yeah, you know it's gonna end some drama, but you still gonna go back. And now that you back, it's like, okay, maybe she's gonna cut up my sweatshirt. There's levels to the drama, right? There's cut up my sweatshirt, or there's blow up my car, right? So like, this right here is kind of like cut up your sweatshirt a little bit. There's been blow up the car, which is we got pow for intentionally losing. Like, this is. But again, like I said,
hey man, as Dolphins fans say, I love her. What you want me to do? I'm not gonna leave her. Like, I could threaten her to get better and do better, but I'm not going anywhere.
That's the reality of the situation, man.
Oh man, yeah. It's the That's So Dolphins life. Welcome to it. I know you're an Eagles fan. I know you're enjoying your clinching of your playoff bowl. Life must be nice. You know, life must be nice. Huh?
That team is gonna lose in the first round.
Nah, don't say that. They might find their little mojo. Who gonna beat them? Seattle?
The Bears? I don't know. We gotta run though. We gotta hop on the other joint. It already started.
Yeah. All right, folks. Everybody, thank you for watching Dolphins in Depth, and we are out.